Hello, hello, beautiful pearls. How are you today? I hope you are all having a great start to the week. And I hope you had a great weekend. Mine was very relaxing. I actually had a lot of talks over this weekend. Probably I haven't spoken, well, I do speak a lot, especially when I'm on the lives with you guys. But, in a group or in a one on one setting, it's been a while. So, one of the discussions that I had this week was quite interesting. A friend of mine that we haven't sat for a while, and we were having coffee on Saturday. So he was asking me about my journey and about you know how I have changed and how my journey has changed me. And my answer to him was like, and he's like, "How do you think this changed you? And what happened? Like, how are you now?" So I asked him, actually, I told him, "You tell me, what do you think?" And his answer was quite interesting. He said, "Well, I think you became a lot more assertive, you became calmer, you kind of became like someone who really thinks a lot before doing anything or before taking any step or deciding on anything." So it was quite interesting for me to see how people notice the change in me. I mean, I know I have changed, and I know to what I have changed. I've changed a lot, actually. But it's really interesting to know how people perceive us when we go on our journey, when we start our awakening journey, and when we just go for it and start living it by all means, left, right, and center. So this prompted a very long discussion with my friend, and it was like 2 or 3 hours. We talked about everything related to the awakening journey that people go through in their lives. But today I want to focus on self-discovery and how you go through it, and what are the things that happen when you are on that journey. The one thing that I think people would want to know is that, like, this doesn't happen just to me or to you. The awakening journey is something that would happen to everybody, but everyone has their divine time where this journey starts for them, or where this journey kicks off, you know. I mean, my divine timing, or my the divine timing for my journey started 4 years ago, and it's ongoing. I think it even started before that, but 4 years ago was like really that milestone that started shifting my life and changing my life to what it is today. Um, so every one of us would, at any given point in time, start this journey. And there are different ways to realize how, like, if you are on that journey or not. The first thing that would happen when you start your awakening journey is you start asking questions normally. And I'm not talking about like normal questions, and those questions are not directed to the outside world. You start asking questions to you. So those intros, you start looking for introspective, you know, your own perspective of things, your own answers to major things in life in general. So the minute you start asking these questions, and the minute you start taking this breath, and like you stop and you breathe and you start asking these questions, this is your kind of alarm. And I don't mean alarm in a bad way, but it's like your clock or your alarm telling you that something amazing is about to start for you. And I say amazing because an awakening journey is not, is not something that you just want to learn or anything. It's about you. It's about understanding who you are. It's about discovering yourself first and foremost, and then everything else follows. But how important it is for us to know who we are and what we want, like as a person. And these are major questions that you start asking yourself when you are on the awakening journey, like, who am I? This question that is like such a big question, and it has so many answers, but these answers, they are all coming from within. This question is not a question that you ask your friends. It's not a question that you ask your family members. It's not a question that you ask people around you or your colleagues. This is a question that you ask yourself. And the best way to ask yourself this question is by sitting and reflecting and really, really talking to your brain, talking to yourself, talking to your mind, and getting those answers. And to get those answers, you're going to be digging and you're going to be understanding not just the who am I? You're going to be understanding the what is it that I'm doing here? What is my reason for being on this planet? Why am I here? What am I doing? And why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And are these the things that I really want to do? Because, in this life and time, everything is moving so fast, and life just passes by us without giving us notice. It just happens. Like only 2 years ago, we were starting a major shift in this on this planet with the pandemic that started in 2020 with the coronavirus. I mean, this happened in 2020. It's already 2 years. 2 years have already passed. I mean, really, how fast is life moving for us? And how much time do you really want to give this life without questioning and without understanding why you are here, and without stopping and taking a breather and asking yourself the important questions, the most important questions, those questions that will open up your life, that will open up your future, that will open up everything for you. And this doesn't have to be like an awakening journey, doesn't have to be only a spiritual awakening journey. It can be an awakening journey of you understanding who you are and understanding what you want in this life. It doesn't have to be about you becoming Zen, or you becoming someone who wants to be of service. I mean, it's amazing if you can do that. If this is what happens for you, this is amazing. If this is your calling, if this is why you are here, it will happen. There's no way it's not going to happen. So if this is why you are present on this planet, it's going to happen for you. But an awakening journey doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can just simply be you going inwards, understanding who you are, understanding your desires, understanding what you want, and living your life from that perspective instead of just going with the flow and following everybody around you or everything that is happening around you without having a say. Just be instead of being that um person who's just living for the sake of living. You start living for the sake of wanting to live, of desiring to live, of desiring to live the life that you want for yourself, not the life that life is imposing on you. And when I say life is imposing on you, by that I mean everything else that is not you. So your friends, your family, your work, the circumstances, the country that you live in, the space that you live in, the I don't know, the surrounding that you put yourself in, everything except you. So when you want to think about it, and when your journey starts, it's when you start going back to who you are, going back inwards, and start asking your questions to you, to your mind, and to your soul, and to your spirit, and start wondering, and to God, and ask these questions. What is my calling? Why am I here? What am I here to do? Why is it that I live my life the way I do? And also, what are my desires? And a very, very big question, very important question that a lot of us don't usually ask is, what are the things that I actually don't want? Like, because sometimes we don't really know what we want. How many times have you asked yourself this question? Most of the time, when we ask ourselves the question, what is it that I want? We kind of go blank because we never ask ourselves these questions, these important questions. So when we ask them, and most of the time it comes out of nowhere, like this question just pops up because it is time. And then you start thinking, my God, I've never asked myself this question. What do I want? What do I desire? Now I'm going to give you a hint. The easiest way to start getting answers for this question is to look at the things that you actually have in your life, but you don't really want. The things that are bringing, let's say, for example, negativity into your life, or the things that are destructive for you, or the things that are not making you happy. So if you start with those, then the answer to the question of who am I? Why am I here? Those answers become easier, and they will start coming to you in an easier way. Just remember, when you do this, this is not an exercise that's going to take an hour or a couple of hours and then that's it. This is an exercise that might take you months, might take you years, and sometimes it might take you I don't know, hours or days or just a couple of weeks. Each one of us grows, and this for me is growth. It's not just an awakening, it's an awakening and it's growth. So each one of us goes through that journey on their own pace, following their own pace, following their own desires and their own requirements. And all these will take a specific time to you, and a specific time to me, and a specific time to X and Y. So we don't all do it at the same speed, right? Every one of us has their own speed that they follow in on such a journey. So the minute you start this journey, like I said, you started by questioning. So this is the first thing that happens, is you start asking questions, those metaphysical questions, those questions that you don't find them in, it's not like something that you can Google. Who am I? You can't go to Google and ask him who you are. Maybe with the algorithms these days, Google might give you an answer, but not the answer that you are looking for. This is something that you need to have. This is an answer that will come from within you, from inside of you. So this is the first step. And then, to make things easier for you on your journey, I'm going to give you a couple of I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do your self-discovery, or some steps that you can take in order to do your self-discovery. And in my program, I actually teach you a lot more than this, and I'll give you more insights, and we will do a lot of discussions on this topic. But I'm just gonna give you a few hints here and there, and sometimes you are doing those things without realizing that. So if you are doing those things now in your life without realizing, know that you are on a discovery journey. You are already doing your inner discovery, and you have already started your awakening. And that awakening, like I said, does not necessarily have to be spiritual, but it has to be yours. It has to be your own. Doesn't have to be. It is your own. It is yours. Okay? The second thing that happens, you start getting organized. So you start feeling like you want to organize your space. You want your space to be clean. You want to organize your time. You want to organize your thoughts. You want to, you start becoming someone who is really interested in organizing and cleaning up. And by cleaning up, I don't mean cleaning up the dust, I mean cleaning up in general, including your whole life. Okay. And part of that cleanup is cleaning up your relationships. So also you start thinking, and you start and it happens so naturally. It's not like, okay, now I'm going to do this, and then we tick, okay, this is check, check. No, that's not how it works. It just works all together. You start doing these things without even realizing why you are doing them, or what is happening. It's just a process that once you start asking these questions, everything else becomes like, it's like a synchronicities, right? It's everything else becomes synchronized, and you start moving on those in those places without even realizing that this is what you're doing, but you're doing it. So the other part of cleaning that happens, or I don't want to call it cleaning, but it's more like weighing your options when it comes to your relationships, weighing your friendships, weighing your acquaintances, weighing the relationships that you have within your work, the relationships that you have within anywhere, every single relationship that you have within your family even. So you start weighing, and you start knowing who is supposed to be in your life. I'm taking my time because I don't want to choose wrong words. So you start knowing who is supposed to be in your life, because they add value to your life, because their existence is what is making your life better. And you start understanding or finding out the ways of setting boundaries for those who do not really add value to your life. You start by setting boundaries, and then things start falling in place for you and for them. Remember, everyone in your life is a reflection of who you are. Everyone in your life exists in your life for a reason. And normally, when that reason is over, that person disappears from your life. And it doesn't have to be a tragic disappearance. And by tragic, I don't mean that, God forbid, they pass on. No, I mean like you fight, or you have a disagreement, or anything. It doesn't have to be this way. Sometimes people, like, most of the time, people fall apart just in a very organic way, and it doesn't have to be planned, and there isn't necessarily like a confrontation that needs to be done, you know, when you are doing this exercise. So this is another thing that starts happening, or this is one of the things that you can do when you are on your discovery journey. Another thing that you can do is you can spend more time. You will see, actually you will start spending more time in nature, because nature starts calling you, because nature is the place where you expand your thoughts and you expand your horizons when you are thinking and when you are uh, um, um, imagining, and you start becoming, by the way, you start becoming very creative when you are on your awakening journey. And this is, for example, one of the things that my friend told me, that I became calm and became very creative in how I do things and how I deal with things. So that's quite interesting, but it's very true. It's very true. So when you also go to nature, when you sit in nature, because nature is so giving and it's so nurturing and it's so open, and it just, like, nature gives you, it holds space for you. Okay, so this is what happens when you go to nature. You start getting more answers, and you start getting more openness and open-mindedness to things. So this is another thing that happens. And then to discover who you are, or discovering yourself also, you will start wanting to learn anything new that you don't know. Anything, it could be something like, as I don't know, learning how to play the guitar, or it could be something as deep as diving into your brain, doing mindset courses, trying to understand how the brain functions, trying to understand how your body functions. That's if you are really on the spiritual path of the awakening. But if it's just a normal inner discovery, you will start wanting to learn new things. Maybe you want to you want to learn how to play tennis. Maybe you want to learn how to play cards. Maybe you want to learn how to play chess, you know? But there's always like something comes up, and you want to learn something new. So this is something also very interesting about the things that happen when we are on our inner discovery journey. Forgive me. And another thing is um, you start writing. And by writing, I mean writing your thoughts and your feelings and your ideas, and you become more of a writer. You start journaling. We call it journaling because journaling helps you remember where you are, what you're doing, and it also helps you check your progress. You know, so when you journal, if you are on an inner discovery journey and you start writing down your ideas, you become, like I said, very creative, and you start thinking, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and you start having a lot of things that you want to do, and putting them down on paper is very important for so many reasons. First of all, it's like you're giving yourself um, an assertion. It's like you're being assertive that this is what I want to do, and you write it down. And not only that, but sometimes, because you are in that creative mindset, in that creative setting, you write anything that comes to your mind, and um, you start expanding on those thoughts and those ideas. And journaling will help you, first of all, in your expansion, so that you can remember the things that you are thinking of, and even bring them to action and bring them to fruition, so that you can do them. That's if they are meant to happen. And you can also come back to the journal and see where you are. Did I do this? Did I do that? Where am I with this? And then obviously, when you are going through the progress, it's also good to journal that, to write about that. And when you are on your inner discovery, you're going to be discovering a lot of things about who you are. You're going to be discovering about a lot of things about the things that are limiting you in your life, the things that are stopping you, your personality traits, your limiting beliefs. You're going to be discovering all of this. And sometimes it becomes very overwhelming and it becomes emotional. So putting everything on paper and knowing where you are with your inner discovery, and sometimes, like when you find something that is, let's say, a limiting belief, and you write it down, you would remember to work on it in the future if you don't decide to work on it on the spot, because sometimes you decide to work on it on the spot. But if you write it down, you will remember that, oh, I discovered this about me, and maybe I should do this about it, and start working on yourself even further. Then you grow even more, and your journey becomes even more meaningful to you, not just something that you are doing because you have nothing else to do. It's never that. Okay, this is very serious stuff. This is very important stuff. And I always say I hope that people don't waste their lifetime without awakening or without going through their inner discovery journey, no matter what the result is. But it is something that is very satisfying for anyone who goes through it. So I really hope that everybody goes through it in this lifetime, that they don't really, that life doesn't pass them by without accomplishing, at least knowing who they really are and why they really, why they are really here. Okay, so that's for journaling. The other thing that a lot of people who are on their inner discovery journey, they start doing is traveling. Like, I love traveling. I mean, I've always loved traveling, but then you start traveling for other reasons. You start traveling to enjoy yourself. This is another thing that happens, by the way. You start giving time to who you are. You start giving, because now you know what are the things that you don't want. And now you know that if you don't want these things in your life and you are removing them, you want to do the things that you want in your life, that you desire to have in your life. Traveling, because when you travel, and why is it important? Because when you travel, you are exposing yourself to new cultures. You are exposing your body to new environments and new times and different places. And you are expanding your own horizon of knowledge, of visuals, even of scenery. If you are stuck in the same place over and over and over again, change will be very, very tricky. But when you expand your horizons by traveling, by exposing yourself to other cultures, by learning about other cultures, learning by being there, not learning by doing research and Google and stuff like that. Learning by experience, so kind of experiential learning, right? So experiencing those cultures, experiencing those places, experiencing a different weather to the weather that you are used to, that your body is used to. Understanding how your body reacts to this. I mean, it's just a never-ending thing. And once you start, trust me, people, it's not like you're gonna find. It's not. You will find answers, obviously, but this is something that it kind of becomes, I don't want to use the word addictive, but it's enjoyable. It's something that you would enjoy, that you wouldn't want to stop, because it's bringing you so much joy, so much satisfaction, so much happiness, that you want to do it all the time. So your inner discovery, you become like your energy becomes somewhere else. You become on a completely different level. Your vibrations become really high. So stopping that, I mean, who would want to stop being happy, or who would want to stop feeling joy? Nobody, right? The minute you have it, you want more of it. So your journey and your learning becomes even more and more important to you, and you start doing it more often, and at a higher and even at a higher pace. And you start wanting to do it faster, to see, oh, what's going to happen next, where am I going to go, or what am I going to discover about me. Even if sometimes we are discovering things that are not to our benefit, discovering them is very important, because knowing that something is not to your benefit means that you can change it, means that you have the opportunity to look at this and say, you know, you're not adding any value. You're not working for me in my life. I am going to remove you, and I'm going to change you. I'm going to replace you with something that is efficient to me, something that helps me, something that adds value to my life and to everyone around me. And I want to tell you, when you start your inner discovery journey and when you start your awakening journey, this will affect you and everyone else around you. And it will affect in positive ways more than in negative ways. You don't have to take my word for it, but when you go through it, you will know, you will feel it for yourself. So for example, I mean, for me, when I started working on myself, I when I started learning about things and I started working on myself, even people around me started asking me questions. They want to know, they want to make things better for them. So they kind of asked me for my own experience, so they can feel that they are also uplifted, that the joy and the happiness and the fun that I am feeling most of the time, it becomes contagious. I think this is what I'm trying to say. It becomes contagious. People will feel it and they will live it with you, if this is where you are when you are on your journey. And most of the people, when they are on this journey, it is a growth journey. It's not a journey that's going to take you backwards. There's no way this journey will take you backwards. Traveling, and next is, well, not next. They can happen in different, there's no order for the things that happen. You also start meditating a lot. And meditation is, it's an amazing tool, because meditation, first of all, it releases you from the day-to-day stress that um, we put ourselves in. I don't want to say life imposes it on us, because most of the time we put ourselves in those situations and we make it like we grow stress in our brain. I know when I say it, like you're gonna say it's not that simple, Maysoon, right? I get it. And yes, it's not that simple. But when you start working on it, you will find out that this is mainly how it happens. It's your body reacting again over and over and over again from things that you're not necessarily living today, but your brain keeps, it's like having memories about things, and then your body starts reacting to a memory which it's not happening right now. It's just a memory. But that's a different topic. Meditation will help you, because when you meditate, you are in a calm place, in a serene place, in a state where you are actually able to access your subconscious mind. When you meditate, you're not to consciously doing, I mean, the thoughts are not your conscious thoughts. You start having thoughts from your subconscious mind come to you. And this is when you start discovering things about yourself, about your desires, about who you want to be, not just who you are, about who you really want to be, what you really want to do in your life. What is it that you want? What is that legacy that you want to keep, after like a very long, long, long life that you live? So that's another thing. You start meditating a lot when you are on your discovery journey. Another thing that I highly recommend that you do when you really want to discover and have those answers to those questions that you are asking yourself, I highly recommend that you limit your exposure to news, TV, social media, anything that you see on a screen. Okay. So, as much as you can limit that, this will be something that will help you, and not help you, it will really expand your thoughts, and it will give you less limitations. When we look at social media today, let's say, or I was having this call today with some people, and we were talking about this. It's like it happened for a reason, because now I'm talking about it. So if we are to follow everything that social media tells us, our standards will be like here. Our boundaries will be actually non-existent. And we will be following like sheep. Like life will be this journey that we have no idea about, because we are just following. We are just going wherever this wave is taking us. Like, who said that, for example, a woman is only beautiful if she is size 2 and her lips are like that and her cheek are like that? Who said that? Who? Why would I want to follow this? And unfortunately, today, all of this is being led by media. All of this is being led on the screen. And also, not just on the screen, a lot of people in our lives are doing this because they are following whatever they see on the screen and whatever media is telling them that this is the standard. Who said that? Who decided on your behalf that this is your standard? Remember, you are the boss of your life. You decide and you choose. But being subject to those to social media, to all the advertising that we receive, all those influencers that I don't know why they are influencers, but they are. Unfortunately, they are. But who said that they are the trend? Who said that they should be the trend? I am my own boss. I am my own decision maker. Nobody decides on my behalf how I will look, why I will look the way I look, and what is it that I want from my look or my lifestyle or my desires or my aspirations. Me, I decide, not that influencer or that influencer, and not that advertisement or that advertisement. And on another note, the news, like in general, because news is always negative. There's nothing like, have you ever opened a TV station that is telling only positive stuff? Uh, I'm sure that TV station doesn't exist. And if anyone tries to open it, it will close. So limit that screen time and reflect, go back inwards. This is like a discovery journey is all about going back inwards and understanding, remembering who you are, remembering why you are here, because you already know. When you came here, you knew you were on a mission, and then you forgot because life happened. So remember, now you're going through a journey of remembrance of who you are and why you are here. And then people will come to you when you are on your inner discovery. It's very interesting, but you become so magnetic. And when I say magnetic, I mean like you start attracting things to you, especially people who want to be there and help, who want to give you support. So these people start popping out of nowhere. They just show up. It's as if you're calling them subconsciously. You're attracting them, you're bringing them to you because you become so magnetic. People want to help you. People want you, they want you to know who you are. They want you to know why you came here. Especially those people who have already been on that journey and who have already discovered their essence and why they are here and what they want to do with their lives. So you start getting that support out of nowhere. Accept it and enjoy it and use it. Learn from it. Don't shy away from, if someone is coming to you and wanting to support you, don't shy away from that. On the contrary, take it and enjoy it and understand that you have asked for it because you have become so magnetic since you decided to do your inner discovery journey. And then when you are on your inner discovery journey, you will also be doing a lot of like, you would want to support. Like you are magnetic to get support from people. You become magnetic and then they will come to you and offer their support. And you will also become someone who wants to volunteer, who wants to offer support, who wants to be of service to those who are less privileged. It will happen. It's like, this is how you discover who you are. This is how you discover who you are, who you truly are, who your inner, most, like the deepest part of you is. Volunteering is one of the things that you will be doing in order to discover who you are. You will also treat yourself. Most of the time we live our lives because it's so, it's like this constant, it's like a constant roller coaster. It's like it's non-stop. Unless we stop and take a breath, life is gonna always be that. And it's like going so fast, so fast. So when you stop and start your inner discovery journey, you also start treating yourself. Start like, okay, today because I want to relax and I want to think, you know what? I think I'm gonna do a massage. Or I think I'm gonna do a bubble bath. You start treating yourself. When you travel, you are treating yourself. When you sit in nature, you are treating yourself. When you help people, you are also treating yourself because there is that satisfaction over there. And that satisfaction is one way of you treating yourself. And one thing when you are on your discovery journey is, I recommend, don't be harsh on yourself. Start your compassion by being compassionate to you. by not being harsh on yourself, by not judging who you are and judging yourself. I mean, judgment in general is not something that you want at all, but you know, start by feeling compassion for you. And actually, when you do that, you will start becoming compassionate to everything around you and everyone around you. So start by that. And this will take you to places that hopefully you will love and you will cherish and you will respect, and just you will want to be more, you will want to do more, you will want to have that impact first for you and then for everyone around you. It starts with you, and you start that major change, and you start, that's like, I like to think about it like a snowball. It starts very small, and then when the ball is rolling it becomes so big, and it doesn't destroy everything on its way. It actually picks up things on its way. It picks up more and more and becomes so big and so knowledgeable and so um, loving and so caring and so compassionate, you know, to like whatever it's taking with it is like, it's the people around us, it's the life that we are living, it's the thoughts that we are having, it's everything that we are in our lives, and everything that we aspire to be, everything that we want. So these are some of the things that will happen when you are on your awakening journey. When you start asking yourself the questions, the main questions that will come to your mind, or maybe I will just give you some hints on some questions that you might already be asking yourself these questions. And again, if you are already asking yourself these questions, it means that you've already started your awakening journey or your self-discovery journey. I don't want to say awakening. I'm going to be very specific and I say self-discovery journey. The awakening is a lot more than just discovering yourself. There's so much to it. But discovering yourself is part of it. It's a very integral part of going through an awakening journey. So, like those questions, for example, not just who am I and why I'm here. You want to understand. So, to understand who you are, actually, you want to understand the things that matter to you, the things that matter in your life. Like, what is it that I'm grateful for? Right? Like when I started my discovery, my personal discovery journey, I I was I was really very skeptical about so many things. And then when I started asking myself these questions, I realized that I have so much to be grateful for. But we don't usually stop and think, okay, we do say I'm grateful, like in general, thank God for everything that I have. Have you ever listed the things that you want to thank God for? Like, do it in your journal. Sit down and list, what is it that I am grateful for in my life. I was very grateful for being where I am today with having to go through so much in my life. Like I was, before anything, I was grateful for my own strength. I was grateful for the strength that God gave me to stay standing, to be here today, or to be here then when I started my journey. I was thankful for having very specific people in my life who helped me a lot throughout my life, throughout sometimes my child, some of them throughout my childhood, some of them throughout my work, my career, and some of them throughout my awakening journey. So I was very grateful also for some people that I had in my life. Like I was grateful for having my cats. These are things that, normally I wouldn't I wouldn't even think about, you know, being grateful for having a house, for having a home where I can live, for having a bed where I can sleep, for having food on the table. These are things that we take for granted, people. My dear pearls. These are things that we take for granted. And believe me, some people in the world don't have those. Like you don't need to believe me, You know that there are so many people, millions of people around the world that don't have the privileges that we have. So always remember what you are grateful for and write them down, you know. Another thing that you want to ask maybe yourself is, what is it that you have in your life that is taking a lot of your energy? Where is your focus? And what is depleting you? What is taking your energy away from you? Ask yourself this question. Remember when I told you that sometimes you ask, what are the things that I don't want? Like, for example, when you ask yourself the question of, what is it that is depleting my energy? You don't want that in your life. You don't want your energy to be depleted. You want your energy to be full. You want your energy to be high, your vibration to be high. You want your energy to be positive. So when you ask yourself that question, it's like you're asking the question of, what do I not want to have in my life, like indirectly. Okay. So when you have the answer to this question, like when I ask myself, what are the things that I'm doing in my life that are bringing my energy down, or that are taking up a lot of my energy, I discovered, for example, that maybe in my case, for example, it wasn't things that I was doing, it was people that I was around. There were people that used to be in my surrounding, in my entourage, in my network, that were so negative, that were bringing me down with their energy, with their issues, with their problems, with their negativity all the time. So, and you don't want those in your life. Like I said, this will teach you how to set boundaries. You don't have to just, push them. There's a way to do this. You will set your boundaries. You will start, and people, like I said, they will fall. It's like you are a tree, and the tree will only keep the fruit that is good. The rotten fruit will fall off on its own, right? So you are the tree, and everything that is happening in your life are those fruits. And those fruits, if they are the right fruits, if they are good fruits, if they are supposed to be going with you through the cycle until the very end, they will stay on your tree. They will stay with you. They will be with you. If they are rotten and they're not supposed to continue, if they have lost their value to you, or if they have done their mission, the mission that they came to your life for, if the mission has passed, they will just fall off on their own. You don't have to do a lot there, really. You don't. And then also ask yourself, for example, what are the things that I want to do? What's like, make a bucket list. What's on my bucket list? And on your bucket list, you will find the places that you want to travel to. For example, you will find those skills that you would want to learn, because this is why we do bucket lists. Like, I want to travel. I still haven't been to the Far East, for example. It's on my bucket list. Japan is on my bucket list. I want to go to Bali, and I want to go to Bali to meditate. So see how things become intertwined and interconnected when you start asking yourself all these questions. And and write them down. Remember, journaling. So your journal can be like this, and who knows, maybe one day, maybe after you finish your self-discovery, you discover, for example, that you want to write your own life story, that you want to write a book, and the book will be about your experience. And now you have everything written, it's already there. All you need to do is just to write it in the right format, in the right way, and make a book out of it. Why not? Maybe you will reach a point where you will realize, oh my God, I have done so much in my life. I have learned so much in my life. And you start, like me, wanting to share your knowledge with others, wanting to help other people. And I don't mean help, but and by help I really don't mean, it's not a condescending thing. It's something like really that's coming from the heart. I want to extend my hand and support others who might be on the same journey that I have been through, others who might be doing, or who people who might be going through the same struggles that I went through. I can help them because I've been there, I've done that, and I know the solution. I have the answers. I can give them the answers. Why not? And this could be you as well. You could be doing that, you know? Who knows? Only you know, by the way. You will know when you go through this journey. So imagine how important and how satisfying this journey is and will be to you the minute you decide. And sometimes you don't even decide, it just starts. Like for me, I did not decide to do my inner discovery, and I did not decide to go through this journey. Although this journey was supposed to happen for me from the minute I came to this planet. I mean, I used to say, I remember I was 5 years old. I used to always say, I I am here to teach. I always said that. But then when life started happening, and when my brain and my body was like, when they were both conditioned by society, by how I was raised, by everything around me, I forgot that this was my mission, this was my calling, this is why I came here. And also, you will remember, so when I started my journey, it just came out of nowhere. It started with a challenge, like I think it was the 21 days of abundance challenge. This is how my journey started. This is how it might start for you, or it might start for you because you are watching this video today, and you start thinking, huh, okay, this is interesting. Let me start asking these questions. Let me start getting answers, because you already have the questions. Maybe you want to start getting answers. So by saying that, I am just opening a simple door, or maybe a window, for you to look through and to see beyond what you are going through in your life today, and to start by taking a breath, taking a breather, and stopping, and just, you know, from this speedy life that is passing us by, and start, if you want to, by asking yourself these questions. And maybe this video is going to be your trigger. I'm pretty sure it might be your trigger. So if you're not on that journey, you might as well start today after watching this. Who knows? And it might take you some time, but this is definitely a seed that will start growing, and hopefully with time you will start wanting to know who you are. And when you reach the answers, you then become that boss. You are already that boss, but you just start seeing it. Oh my God, yes, that's true. I am the one who's taking those decisions. I am the one who decided how my life is going to be until today. And now I am the one who is breaking free from this life and choosing myself a different life, choosing myself a different future, choosing myself a different outcome and a different now, not just a different future, a different now. It actually starts with now. And the future will be a reflection of today for you and me and everyone. So I hope that today I was able to give you that trigger and um, set you on that, you know, on the first steps of this journey. And you know, if you want to learn more and if you want to do more and if you want to go through that journey with me, if you want my support and my help, just reach out. And there is a way. This is part of the program that I'm giving, and this is part of how I help people to go from one place in their life to a higher place for them, and things that are for their own good, that they want to have, that they desire, and support them and helping them becoming the the champions that they already are, that they just, that champion is there, you know, you just want to wake them up, you just want to wake that champion. So by that, I hope I gave you that trigger, I hope I gave you that push, and I, you know, if you have any questions or you want to know more, just let me know, and I'm here. And I always, like, sometimes my lives are the result of questions that I have from you. So if you have any questions, just send them to me, and I will see you again hopefully next week. By that, I will say ciao ciao.